In the open ocean, where distance erases direction and depth absorbs sound, size alone does not guarantee survival. Many large creatures disappear quickly in such an environment, unable to adapt to the constant movement and scarcity that define pelagic life. The manta ray, however, does not merely survive here. It thrives by rewriting the rules of what it means to be large in a world that rarely forgives excess. From a distance, a manta ray appears almost unreal, its vast wingspan cutting a slow silhouette against shafts of sunlight. There is no urgency in its motion, no visible struggle. Yet this calm is deceptive. Every glide is the result of millions of years of evolutionary refinement, shaping an animal that turns water itself into a tool. The manta ray does not push through the ocean, it negotiates with it. The ancestors of manta rays emerged from cartilaginous fishes that once lived closer to the seafloor. Over evolutionary time, some lineages abandoned ambush predation and heavy jaws, instead embracing a strategy built around filtration and movement. This transition was not subtle. It required radical anatomical restructuring, from skeletal composition to muscle arrangement, from feeding apparatus to sensory processing. Teeth became irrelevant. Speed became secondary. Efficiency became everything. The manta ray's body is an engineering solution disguised as an animal. Its pectoral fins, expanded into broad wings, create lift through subtle changes in angle and curvature. Unlike fish that rely on tail propulsion alone, manta rays use their entire bodies as hydrodynamic surfaces. Each undulation generates forward motion while minimizing energy loss. This allows long-distance travel without exhaustion, an essential trait in an ocean where resources shift constantly. Cartilage, rather than bone, forms the internal framework of the manta ray. This choice reduces weight while increasing flexibility, allowing the body to absorb and respond to water pressure dynamically. The result is movement that appears effortless but is, in reality, an ongoing adjustment to microcurrents, turbulence, and changing density layers within the water column. Feeding defines much of the manta ray's daily existence. Plankton, though tiny, forms the foundation of marine food webs. By specializing in plankton consumption, manta rays tap into an energy source that is both abundant and diffuse. Their feeding strategy involves swimming with mouths open, cephalic fins unfurled to funnel water inward. Inside the mouth, complex filtering structures separate food from water with remarkable precision. This process demands constant motion. Unlike predators that feed intermittently, manta rays must feed continuously to meet their energy needs. This creates a lifestyle built around flow, following currents, tracking blooms, and adjusting depth to maximize intake. Feeding is not a moment, it is a state of being. Despite their immense size, manta rays are acutely sensitive to their surroundings. Their sensory systems detect pressure changes, temperature gradients, and chemical cues in the water. These signals inform navigation, feeding decisions, and social interactions. Vision plays a role as well, particularly in surface waters where light penetration is strong. Manta rays are capable of recognizing shapes, movement patterns, and potentially individual organisms. Social behavior among manta rays adds another layer of complexity. While they do not form rigid schools, they frequently gather at cleaning stations, specific reef locations where smaller fish remove parasites and dead skin. These sites become meeting points, not just for hygiene, but for interaction. Manta rays queue patiently, circling and waiting their turn, suggesting an awareness of sequence and social tolerance. At these stations, interactions occur that hint at recognition and memory. Individuals return repeatedly, sometimes over many years. The same manta rays are observed interacting with one another across seasons, implying long-term spatial memory and possibly individual identification. This level of cognitive ability challenges traditional assumptions about fish intelligence. Migration defines the large-scale rhythm of manta ray life. Unlike animals that migrate along fixed corridors, manta rays move fluidly, responding to shifting environmental cues. Plankton blooms are not static, they appear and disappear based on temperature, nutrient upwelling, and current patterns. Manta rays track these changes with remarkable accuracy, often arriving at feeding grounds just as productivity peaks. This movement suggests more than instinct. It implies learning. Manta rays appear to remember locations that have been productive in the past, returning when conditions align. Their navigation likely combines sensory input with spatial memory, forming a mental map of the ocean that evolves over time. Ecologically, manta rays act as regulators within the marine system. By consuming vast quantities of plankton, they prevent excessive blooms that could destabilize oxygen levels and nutrient cycles. Their movement between surface and deeper waters redistributes nutrients vertically, contributing to ocean productivity in subtle but significant ways. Yet despite their ecological importance, manta rays are vulnerable. Their slow reproductive rate is a critical weakness. Females typically give birth to a single pup after a long gestation period. There is no surplus offspring to offset heavy losses. Each death matters. Each removal from the population leaves a gap that may take decades to refill. Human activities compound these risks. Targeted fishing for gill plates, accidental capture in nets, and habitat disturbance all contribute to population decline. Climate change adds another layer of uncertainty, altering plankton distribution and disrupting the delicate balance manta rays depend on. As surface waters warm, feeding grounds shift unpredictably, forcing manta rays to travel farther and expend more energy. Ecotourism, while often promoted as conservation-friendly, presents its own challenges. Repeated close encounters with humans can disrupt natural behavior, increase stress, and alter feeding patterns. Protection, therefore, requires more than admiration. It requires restraint. What makes the manta ray remarkable is its refusal to dominate its environment. It does not hunt aggressively. It does not defend territory. It survives by synchronizing with systems larger than itself, currents, seasons, productivity cycles. This strategy has allowed manta rays to persist for millions of years in an ecosystem defined by change. In the end, the manta ray represents a different model of success. Not speed, not violence, not control, but alignment. It is a giant that endures by understanding movement, by yielding where resistance would fail. As long as the ocean continues to breathe through currents and blooms, the manta ray will continue to glide beneath the surface, a living reminder that power does not always announce itself through force.